Hi everyone, welcome to today's installment of IF and Love Cinema and Mes De Terror edition. And today we are talking about Jairo Bustamante's 2019 movie La Llorona. Now, a lot of I think any Latin people or anyone who knows anything about Latin culture knows about La Llorona. It's a very famous folk tale about a woman who drowns her own children. Different stories have different reasons why. It's kind of like a boogeyman tale that you tell, little kids so they don't go running around at night, because the whole thing is that at night, sometimes you can hear her wander around shouting, mis niños, like screaming for her kids, right? And this movie is taking that folk tale and using it as the basis for not just a really great horror movie, but for a very intense political movie as well. This movie, in a lot of ways, kind of reminded me of Canoa, because Canoa, check out my previous IF and Love Cinema for my thoughts on that movie. But much like Canoa, like it uses the aesthetics of horror films, right? It has like that horror movie vibe, but I think La Llorona is a lot more of a direct horror movie than Canoa. They are both movies that are using that vibe to express the horrors, not just of politics, but of also society. This movie concerns itself with the family of a genocidal dictator who is going through trials for crimes against humanity, for wiping out a third of the Mayan Ishti, I believe is what they're called, people. And this is just an absolutely gripping movie from frame one all the way to the very end. This is a very considered movie with very precise editing, very precise cinematography, and I really cannot stress this enough. Very, very incredible sound design. If I watched it on my PS5 with the Pulse headset, so I had like simulated 5.1. It was an incredibly immersive experience. So this movie not only deserves to be seen, it deserves to be listened to. Not just because of what it's saying, but because the sound design in this movie is some of the best that I've ever heard. And all that is used to tell the story of the family of that genocidal dictator named General Enrique Monteverde. One of the things that this movie does is that it's sort of a nesting doll of horror. And the sort of root horror in the center of this movie is the nature of Enrique Monteverde, not only as, a genocidal dictator, but as a father and as a husband. The type of people who are capable of doing something that awful are narcissistic, are manipulative, and are very selfish. And that's who this character is revealed to be. I love how the movie really toys with the imagery of like what this dude has done in his past, but in his current state, he's this fragile, pathetic old man. That is the first sort of core layer of horror. Beyond that, you have this story of La Llorona, the folk tale, where essentially the father starts to hear the sounds of a woman crying. And this leads to a series of events in which the family takes in this mysterious woman. I really cannot tell you guys how absolutely tense I was throughout this entire movie. Each and every single second of it just drips with atmosphere. Throughout the entire second act, the family is surrounded by peaceful protesters. One of the benefits of watching this movie with surround sound was that I really, really picked up on how Jairo Bustamante was sort of contrasting and complementing what we were seeing within the family and what the protesters were singing about, what they were doing. There's times where it's very chaotic and violent. There's time where it's kind of like this show of community, and it's very borderline beautiful. And there's times where it's just like silent, but like a very devastating silence, and that manages to just really put you there, like there. As you can see, I'm a big fan of this movie. I highly recommend it. It is on Shutter, and it's also available for rent. So yeah, if you want to see a good, deep, meaningful, and very effective horror movie with something to say, you got to check this one out. So that's going to be all for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you've seen this movie before, let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you hit like and subscribe if you haven't. Hit that little notification bell. But yeah, until next time, peace.